let's define what you want. So I use the term, I call it exit lifestyle. The reason I came up with that term is because many business owners feel that exit's only about the transaction, and many business owners feel like the only types of exits you really hear about are these unicorn exits where people, have an app that IPOs for $1 billion.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's like, well, maybe that'll happen for other people, but that probably won't happen for me. So my thesis is, well, what if we could help you live your ultimate exit lifestyle, even if you never sold? So just build a business that gives you an abundance of time and money. Use some of that to create other sources of income and liquid assets separate from the business, and use some of that time and money resources to live the life you want, to be more, do more, make a bigger impact in the areas of life that you care about, while you still own it. You don't have to sell it to make that happen. You don't have to wait till you hit this, when I do $10 million, when I do $50 million, then I'll see my kids when they're awake. Like you could actually choose to build it differently. And I just say, well, why not reframe it and say, let's define what our exit lifestyle is. Like, what do we want? And how do I bring that to the present? And then it's just good business strategy, good financial strategy, good tax strategy, legal strategy combined that make it a reality. But it's all funded and created by the business, which was created by the entrepreneur. So they're the source of all of it.
Yep.
And so most people just don't think about it that way. And I find that when I flip it and reframe it that way, it makes it more tangible. It automatically gives them permission to view this exercise as not an exercise in preparing for a transaction, when they can just be building the business and the life that they want, like right now. Let's define what that looks like, from revenue, from profit, from personal income, from time you work in the business. Let's define that from liquid resources or income assets separate from the business, and from some personal goals, free days, planned vacation days, work-life balance, financial stress, key learnings that you are getting every month, thinking about these three areas. I call it business freedom, financial freedom, personal freedom. But as you're doing this kind of work with the right advisory team, you're likely to have some ahas along the way. And those are probably some ahas that you want to capture and then share with some key people, which could be your key leaders in the business. It could just be your family member, because these are the real assets, like the skill sets that you've developed to problem solve, to kind of create value in the world, to see things differently, to kind of find resources where people see scarcity. Like these things that really make an entrepreneur successful are not just the technical skills in whatever industry that they're in. And I would have you consider that capturing and sharing that with your family, et cetera, is probably more important than passing them the money.
Yep.
So they could figure out how to apply that to their world, because not all kids want to get into your family business, but they all need to figure out how to create value in the world. Absent, the goal is, how do I give my kids, a platform that I can launch them so that they can, build upon what I've created and not have to rely upon it.
Greg, you've just covered so much territory today and skimmed across a lot of the things that business owners need to be considering, and getting the business, financial and personal points right for freedom. What's the one thing, if you like, if listeners were to recall one key message, aha moment from our conversation today, what would you like them to take away?
Create the business that you want, as opposed to letting the ebbs and flows of your business define the life that you're living.
Wow, yeah. So be conscious, be deliberate. You create it rather than it create you. Love it.
Yeah, well, I'm getting my income, but the only way I'm doing that right now, because I'm working 80 hours a week. So I guess I just have to work 80 hours a week. Yeah. Well, no, let's create the business that gives you that income at 40 or 30 or 20 or 10 hours a week or whatever it is. Let's create the business that you want. Don't let the tail wag the dog. Oftentimes that's what we end up doing.
Enough said, I think. That's a fantastic finishing point. Thanks for sharing your time with us, Greg. Really learned a lot today. We'll include your details in the show notes, and yeah, we'll speak again soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, my pleasure. Always love having a chat with you, Daryl. Love what you guys are doing in the UK. Excited to be kind of one of your software partners in the US. and looking forward to more conversations like this in the future.
Sensational. Thanks, Greg.
All right. Have a great one, guys. Bye-bye.